Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Do you want to see how amazing my yard looks? It's not great, but it's as good as it's looked all year, and it's probably as good as it's going to look the rest of today because we're still fighting those guys right there. But there it is. Nice green grass, super epic view. And it lasts about 30 seconds around here before it looks like that, or like all this. Like this was blown off yesterday afternoon. This driveway was completely clean. And this is what I wake up to every single morning. All of this. And that's because these guys right here won't make their mind up on what they're gonna do. They're super green right now. This is the 5th time they've been super green. And this weekend we're getting weather and it's gonna be another cold snap where it's in the low 40s at night. Meaning these guys right here are likely to get confused and decide to drop all their leaves again. Also, look how dirty the work truck is after one night of just sitting here. That's pollen. And that's also why I sound like I'm talking out of my nose. Because, well, there's lots of pollen and I'm mowing in that all day long. Speaking of mowing, we have something cool that we are doing today to the mower inside that trailer. And it's something that I didn't even know existed until I started thinking of ways to be more efficient and faster when I'm mowing yards. Because lately, I have been coming across a lot of opportunities to mow some really big acres. I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I haven't mowed an 8 yet, but pretty close to an 8-acre lot. And when you mow a big property like that, the mower is awesome for it. But the other stuff you do, like trimming and blowing, not so awesome for it because, well, you're over there, you're over there, you're way over there. It's a lot of walking. So I've been doing something with my mower and my trimmer, and I was like, man, it'd be awesome if someone made something to make this easier. Well, guess what? Someone did make something to make it easier. And I don't know how I didn't know this existed, but Ballard Products makes this right here. It's called the T-Rax. And it is a trimmer holder that mounts to the roll bar of your lawnmower. Meaning when I drive these big properties and I go to the end of a long driveway and there's some trimming out there, I don't have to come back later with just my trimmer. I can jump off the mower, trim real quick, and then be done with that area and get on about my day. And I was thinking, man, could you imagine how much time that would save if I had my trimmer with me the whole time I was mowing? Well, we're about to put it on and we're gonna find out because today's property we're mowing is one of those. It's a 5-acre lot and it's a big place. It's a place that I typically only do that job for the day because it takes a long time. Like I'm talking, it takes a long time, especially this time of year with the leaves. So we're gonna get the mower out and we're gonna put the T-Rax on. You can see my mower is nice and clean because, well, it's still leaf season and it's rainy. So not only are we covered in dust, we're also covered in water and mud because it won't stop raining. So first step, this guy right here mounts to the roll bar. And we have to decide, do we want it on this side, right there, or on this side, right there? I'm thinking, because of the way I like to mow and the fact that this side of the mower is the one that hangs out further, that I want to put it on this side. I want it on my right side. So I'm going to start there and see what I think about it. And then maybe after a day of mowing, we might switch it. But for right now, I think the right side is where I want it to be. That is pretty good, and it's held on just by one U-bolt. So in order to do this, I had to move this little spacer thing right here that keeps the roll bar from bouncing on my motor. It was on that side, now it's on that side. And I had to go as high as I could because I want to still be able to fill up with gas. Now, let's put the arm on and see what it looks like. Because I am curious. I can see that it's going to be about right there. So it's going to be right there at the edge of the handle, but it's still inside the deck. So far, looks like it's just gonna work out just fine. I am concerned about how filling up's gonna be with this in the way. Maybe it won't be a big deal because the arm is there. Not sure I can fill it up with the trimmer in the rack, but maybe. Oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome. It's actually pretty cool. So now the thing is where do I put the bolt for the angle? I guess you'll never know until you put the machine in there. But yeah, this could be real cool. Plenty of room to fill up with gas still. I thought it was gonna be much lower. And we might even lower that down some more because we don't want it sticking up too high back here. But man, that looks cool. I'm sure you guys who already have this are saying, hey, you should definitely do this, this, and this, because I don't know yet, and I'll find out when I mow today how inconvenient some of this placement is. We have it installed. It's not tight yet on the angle because I'm not sure, but you can see it sticks right outside the control lever. And it should be going to where the head is somewhere right here. And the motor is somewhere right here. Now, the only thing left to do is to put it in there and see what we like and don't like about it. But so far, I'm super excited because I've been dreaming of a way to carry. Y'all wanna know how I've been doing it? I've been putting it in my lap and driving around. You know how hard it is to drive with a weed eater in your lap? And then I scooted the seat forward one day and put it back here. And that was pretty cool. Until I forgot that part of the weed eater was sticking out to like right here. And I went by a tree and it tried to flip me out of the chair. So I was like, there's gotta be a better way. And lo and behold, the internet, Facebook Marketplace, not Facebook, but Facebook must have heard me say that. And all of a sudden I got ads for things that do that. So thumbs up to internet for hearing what I wanted and helping me out. Yeah, is that how that goes? Oh man, it didn't go there. Maybe there? Nope, didn't go there. Well, that's not cool. That would be perfect if that would go there. Maybe there? Right there, look at that. It fits in a groove. Look at that. Look at that. It might turn a little bit. Maybe it won't. So yeah, that's awesome. Now it can go everywhere with me throughout the day. And the trimmer head is down there. The motor's up there, so it's actually not taller than my head when I'm sitting in it. It's out of the way. Grass flap opens up and closes. This right here doesn't hit. That might be weird. I wonder how much that actually does bounce. Oh, I haven't tightened everything up. Okay, so hopefully that doesn't bounce that much. But yeah, there it is. I got my new coworker with me on my lawnmower for the day. We have the mower out, and I'm gonna drive around and see what that looks like. It's gonna be kind of loud. Also, it's gonna be hard for me to hold you guys and drive. I know the camera angle wasn't great because I can't hold you far enough away and drive. But this thing right here does not bounce as much as I thought. It did rotate a little on me, but I think that's where it's going to stay. It's not going to rotate any more than that. It's going to pivot just a little bit. I am concerned about this cable right here, but it's got protector on it, and this also has, well, to be honest, this is double-sided sticky like padding. That's probably going to be the first thing that starts to fail on this. But I do like the fact that it seems pretty easy to get in and out. And there you go. You just go to work, do your trimming, and then throw it back on. All right, I know I said it was super easy. It actually is super easy. As long as you put that back in the same spot, it works out just fine. So this guy right here has to go behind it. I tried to put it down in there and it won't latch that way. That right there is what holds it. So, super easy and awesome to do once you do it about 10 or 15 more times. So before we go mow, this is actually the yard we're doing today is the one that started my blade experiment. Y'all remember back a couple of videos ago, probably 3 or 4 months ago, I did this video about how much blades improve your time. Well, it was the yard I'm doing today that's the reason I started trying to figure out how to be more efficient. Also the reason I thought about that idea. How can I be more efficient? Well, as you can see, I'm still running through lots of blades. These two right here, that's the fall cleanup, or basically the spring cleanup too. This is the leaf blades. You see how bad they are done? Wings almost gone. These are the scag blades. Terrible for leaves. I ran them one day, took them off, said never again. These right here are more of the organ blades, and these are actually some new ones I tried that the local dealer has. These are called copperheads. That's 2 days of mowing with leaves. You can see they got some nicks on them, and that's from, well, tree branches that I'm too lazy to get off and pick up. But overall, they are holding the edge really good. And since I was ordering the Ballard T-Rax, I decided to get some of these Ballard Gold blades, high lift blades, because, well, I know that high lift makes that deck mow amazing. And several of you guys said I should try these. So today, before we get started, I'm gonna put a set of these on, and then we're gonna go find out how much faster I can mow this huge property with brand new blades and having my trimmer with me all day. The new Ballard Gold blades are on, and really yesterday's blades weren't that bad. We still have a pretty good edge, and the barcode's still in there. So these probably could have gone today. But I do know this property right here is the reason I started changing blades, because being close to 5 acres, towards the end, you have to start double passing. And do you know how much time it eats up when you have to double pass 5 acres? More than you want to be there. So now the mower is fresh set of blades, greased it up, and we got our trimmer rack on. It's time to load this thing up and go see how much more efficient we are. The bad thing is all the efficiency I gained, I probably gave it away this morning by doing this, but nonetheless, we're gonna be faster. Hopefully, much faster. Also, I had to get a second mower, but don't worry, it's not another big one. It's this baby one right here. It's actually an Echo mower. It's a 21-inch Echo mower, 190cc motor. And I had to get it because of the rain. The rain makes it to where I cannot mow ditches. And I mow a bunch of big properties that have ditches along the highway. And it takes a long time to weed eat that. And I don't like to not do it because it looks a little trashy to come in and mow and leave the ditch bad. So yeah, I bought that from Home Depot, the orange store. Because, well, it matches everything else in the trailer. And I needed a mower for doing things that I can't do when it's raining. So far, it's been awesome. It's a real back saver, if you know what I mean. So I have this property, the trashy one I tell you all about, that's right there on the highway. When I weed eat, it takes almost an hour to weed eat the ditch if it's too wet for this mower to go in it. Now when it's dry, this mower covers the whole ditch. Don't need that. But I could not keep doing that every time I went, so I broke down and bought that guy. And I kind of like it. I don't want to make it a habit of using it, but I do like it. So I guess now the next thing is to see, can we load the mower on the trailer with the weeder in the rack? It should fit. It should fit with plenty of room, because really, I just have to worry about the head hitting the head. So we're gonna load it up and see if we clear right here, and then, or if it's just one of those things we should just take it off and store it for the travel, and then put it back on when we get where we're going. And that's another thing. Today we get to try two different scenarios. One, the huge yard, which is the reason I want that. And then I have to finish up with two small neighborhood yards, which I don't think it's gonna benefit me having that, but I'm still gonna keep it on there to see. Does it actually help small yards get any faster, or is it just kind of in the way? Right here, it looks like there is plenty of room. But when you're driving it, you have to get used to it because it feels so close when you're sitting in the driver's seat looking over your shoulder. So it's one of those things, until I get comfortable with it, I'm gonna have to just make sure that I understand where it is. But I did cheat over a little bit. I'm clearly closer to this side of the trailer now. But I think even if you put it down the middle, you're not gonna touch, because it's within the deck. And as long as the deck is within that track, you'll never touch these heads right here. I'm gonna see how it travels, and if it becomes a thing, I'll just pop it off and put it up there in its spot. And now that I have a new spot, maybe it's time for a new trimmer. I'm just playing. I don't need a new trimmer yet, but soon, very soon, I probably will need a lot of new things in here, because I don't know if I've told you guys, I got real busy. You may have noticed we skipped a week. It's because I was so busy trying to get all the yards done, especially with this spring cleanup. I just didn't have time to talk to you guys. But it's becoming very apparent that soon I'm gonna have to have a full-time employee. Meaning I'll probably have to get a second blower, a second mower, and another one of those, because, well, I need to have two men doing the same amount of work, because that's the only way we're gonna get things done. But anyway, let's get this thing strapped down, and I'll see you at the big yard, and we'll lay out the rules to find out if we're gonna be faster or not. Because there is a catch. There is a catch with that yard, depending on what the trees did, whether or not we can accomplish being faster today or not. All right, we are here at the yard. We're gonna find out if that does anything for me. So this property right here is actually two homes. It's on, I think, 18 or 19 acres. We don't mow all that. We mow about 4. And it's one of those yards that if you have good blades, it's so easy to mow. But if you have bad blades, you can be here all day. So just to let you know the difference in blades, this yard is maybe 4 acres that I mow, maybe 5-ish, 4 to 5, something like that. With no new blades on, this was taking me about 5 hours. When I changed to blades that were brand new just for this yard, the best I've ever done this yard is mowing, weeding, blowing, and being back on the trailer. So like door down to door up is right around 3 hours in perfect conditions. Now with the leaves, nothing's ever perfect, but when there's leaves on the ground like there has been, this is usually a 5-hour job, because I like to carry their leaves. I've done walked around, the leaves are not gonna be a problem today. We actually might have a problem with some standing water because it has been raining. There's some low areas over there that hold water, but it'll be a good use to see, does that help me? Because I won't be able to mow these little ditches, but I can jump off real quick and catch it with the trimmer and get back on the mower and keep mowing. So I'm going to show you a few things around this property that are the reason I wanted to do this, and then we're going to see, can I beat my time? If I can beat around 3 hours this time of year, then that is totally worth it. I'm going to try my best to not waste too much time talking to you guys, but I am going to show you a few of the spots that are the reason I wanted to start getting this, because I have lots of properties like this where I get way far away from the trailer, and it would be nice to have the trimmer with me so I can just knock it out, be done with that area I'm in, and never have to go back to that area. Also, another fun fact, you can actually refuel the trimmer while it's on the mower. I'm not sure that's a feature, but to me it's a bonus feature that I don't have to take it off the machine to fill it full of fuel. So good job, whether you planned it or not. Welcome to the reason I wanted to have my trimmer with me. So we're at the end of the driveway, way out here. The truck is way back there, and I always have to walk out here and make a special trip to come trim this area. Well, now that I have the trimmer with me, I'm going to show you guys how fast it's going to be. I'm going to put you on time lapse, show you what it looks like to mow and trim, and then we'll never have to come here the rest of the time. And just like that, we are now done down here. Now when I get on the mower and I go back towards the truck, I don't have to come back down here with the weed eater and get the rest of this. And this place, I like to call it like, it's got a lot of fingers on it, you know what I mean? Like there's like these offshoots of the yard, and there's always something to trim at the end of that offshoot, and that eats up so much time having to walk on foot to all these places, especially since this property runs, I mean, as far as you can see on this camera, I'm way over there and I'm way over there, so I'm all over the place. If this could save me just 10 minutes an hour, I could almost save 30 minutes in this job just by having the trimmer with me at all times. Now, to find out if I'm any faster, because you guys are slowing me down, I'm gonna put you back in the truck and I will see you when this job is done. Why, hello there. So, good news. That thing is awesome. You should definitely have a mower with a weed eater on it, because we just set our new high score and it was not perfect conditions. So before today, perfect conditions, I get around 3 hours. Today was not perfect. There's several spots where there's standing water and I couldn't mow it. I had to weed eat the area because I like to make everything look awesome. Even with the extra weed eating, I would say probably 25 to 35 minutes of extra weed eating. Our new high score is 2 hours and 41 minutes to mow this 4.5 acre property. So I was 20 minutes faster with probably 40 minutes extra of weed eating. So that means I might be close to an hour faster. I might be close to 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes doing this property, because I don't have to walk back and get this every time I need to weed eat something. So when I'm done with an area that's not the main yard, like over there, there's like a finger that goes up in the woods. When I'm done back there, I just jump off, weed everything. I never have to go back there again. So for properties like this, that is the way to go, because I'm only one man. Well, now I'm kind of a man and a half, 2 men right now, because I have all the tools I need for the area and I don't have to go back over there and blow. So when I leave there, I'm done. So far, this right here, it wasn't even that expensive. It's like maybe $135. Totally worth it, because potentially I'm almost an hour faster on really big properties. And that's kind of what I do. I do really big properties and I try to do them really fast. Well, it's hard to do them fast whenever you have to walk around with a weed eater. Now, my next property is not a big property. It's a neighborhood property. We're still gonna use it to see if it helps me out at all, but I'm thinking it's not gonna be much faster on these small yards because, well, I'm not really that far from the trailer and everything's right there. Welcome to the neighborhood yards. And these are actually two of my smaller yards. They're rather big yards for neighborhoods. As you can see, that's that. No fences, more than enough to justify having a 16-inch mower. But I don't think it's gonna save me much time by having the trimmer with me because, well, there's not a lot of trimming and I'm not really far from anything anyway. But I am gonna try to figure out if I am faster. I actually don't know the answer, so I'm just gonna have to go off feel because I've never recorded myself here because I don't really record myself when it's small properties. I do it when it's big properties, that way I understand how much time I need to do the job. These, they're always so fast. Like I think this is usually like an hour a yard because there's two here. So it's usually about 2 hours here to get this done. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, as long as I'm out of here in less than 2 hours, we were faster. Whether or not it's because of that, who knows? But it can't hurt. So I'm gonna try to do it the same way and just see, am I faster? And I need to be faster because, I don't know if you can see this, it's starting to rain. And these are my last two for the day. And I need to get them done because I need to try to figure out if I can fit more in later because it's supposed to rain the rest of the week and the rest of my week is not so casual like today. These are my casual days. This is Tuesday. Tuesday is a nice, easy, casual Tuesday. Wednesday is also casual. Thursday and Friday, not casual at all. So we need to try to figure out how to get more yards done sooner because I'm gonna get rained on. 100% this week I'm getting rained on and I'm gonna have to mess up my schedule or push things back to figure it out. It took almost exactly the same amount of time having the trimmer on the mower with the neighborhood yard. So that yard right there, it didn't really speed me up, but it did make me feel a whole lot less tired because I was able to mow and then weed eat some and then drive down the road, mow that one, and we'd eat some. And basically, when I put this mower back on the trailer, we're done with that. We grab that, blow it off, and we're done for the day. So no, it doesn't make me a lot faster, but it makes me not as tired. It doesn't wear me out because I'm not holding the weed eater for an hour at a time. I'm just doing it in small increments. So it's almost like I'm being more pronounced, is that the right word? Deliberate with my time. So I mow, I trim, I mow, I trim, and then when you're done, you're done. You don't have to remember where to go, you're done. But as you can see, it started raining. I didn't know because I have this giant hat. I couldn't tell it was raining, but it's actually raining pretty good right now. And that means our day is probably done. We were gonna try to sneak ahead and do some of tomorrow's yards because it's gonna continue to rain off and on for the next 4 days. But I think it's probably not good to try that right now because I was starting to leave a little bit of tracks towards the end because it's getting very wet. So, what do I think about this? That is awesome. Also, the blades. The high lift blades are awesome. I know I've only had them for basically 3 yards now, but those Ballard high lifts, time will tell because I love anything high lift. High lift blades on a skag deck, it's amazing the suction it creates, and it just picks things up and cuts it good. It's almost like having like a comb to pick the grass up and then it cuts it flat. So I like high lift blades, but the thing about high lifts is if they work really good, they wear out really quickly. And I'm hoping that the Ballards, because they are so thick and they have a carbide edge, that at least we'll get more than just a handful of sharpenings out of them. Because the other ones I get from in town, I think they're made by Stens, they're awesome, but they have maybe 2 or 3 sharpenings and they're done because it just wears the wings off. So as long as these wings survive longer than 2 or 3 sharpenings, they're worth a little bit extra money and the shipping. That being said, I was going to show you the blades when I got home, but if it's raining, I'm probably just going to park this trailer and call it a day. And I'm going to deal with all this stuff when it's done raining. What do you guys think? Do you think this thing is worth it? I think it is. I think every mower I own now will have that. Even when I get a second person to help me, an employee, the mower will always have that because it makes you way more efficient. And by that, I mean you're not going back and forth to the trailer. I save so much time by just stopping the mower, hopping off, grabbing the weed eater, getting everything I need, and getting back on the mower. There's no lost time back and forth to the trailer every time you need to get something. Also, this is another thing I do to save time. You see this right here? Well, up here, I pre-cut these and have them ready to go for the day. And one of those is always in my pocket because that is a big time eater whenever you forget to have that in your pocket and have to come back to the trailer. Because I have the speed feed head on this guy right here, keep one of those in your pocket at all time. It's like a 15-second thing to re-spool it and go back to work. So that's the things I've been working on because I am a solo operator, is how can I get more of the time that I have? Because right now, I think that I have more yards than one man can do. But I'm trying to make the most of it until I get just a little bit more work. And then you guys, well, you may not see them, but there might be a second person helping me out and probably a second mower. Now, here's the question. In the past, I told you guys I wanted to have the exact same thing. Another 60-inch Tiger Cat 2. That way they were identical mowers, identical motors on them, identical everything. I could take any part off this one and put it on that one. I still like the idea of that, but also I've been thinking, I mow a lot of big properties. And a 60-inch is amazing, but what if I got a 72-inch? What if I had a 60-inch and a 72-inch? And that being said, that means I would have to go up to the next model, which is a Cheetah. So I would have one Skag Tiger Cat 2 and one Cheetah and a 72-inch. They would have similar motors. I think a 38 horsepower on the Cheetah and a 36 on this one. But that's my idea. I'm thinking 2 would be awesome to have the identical ones because of tracks and the way they mow, and everything would be symmetrical. But also, because I mow such big properties, that 72-inch, it might be awesome. Now, I do know there are some things people say it's harder to mow, and I understand that hills and angles. I've learned how to mow every yard with this one, and that having a 72, things get weird, and you have to watch your scalping and the way your deck tilts, because the deck is going to stick out 6 more inches on either side, which is kind of a lot whenever you tilt right here and over there digs into the ground. But this one does it too if you don't pay attention. So that being said, I think there will be a small learning curve, but it might be cool to have a bigger mower along with the 60-inch. What do you guys think? Should I get two of the same, or should I upgrade and get a nicer mower that's got a 12-inch bigger deck? Because I mow a lot of yards, a lot of big yards. We don't mow a lot of yards like this. I have a handful like this, and really the 60-inch is just fine, and I could probably mow that with the 72 because there's nothing really going on. It's just back and forth a few times and you're done. But on those big 4 and 5 and 6 acre properties, that 72-inch, I think it says it does like 3/4 of an acre more an hour than this one, which may not sound like a lot, but after an hour you're almost another acre ahead of that one. So anyway, guys, I am going to put this thing up and I'm going to head back to the house. Thanks for hanging out today. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.